So in this video, I'm going to show you how to connect Amazon S3 with Media Cloud and get that whole thing working. Before we begin, just to show you, we have a sort of generic WordPress install, fresh install. Media Cloud is installed, but none of the features are activated, none of the settings are set up. We have media in our library already that's stored on our WordPress server. And then we have posts that have that media in there. And then if we go to the front of the site, you'll see that we've got a lot of posts here that have a lot of images in them. So the first thing that we need to do is to create a bucket on Amazon, create an IAM user on Amazon, and then put those settings into Media Cloud. So log into your Amazon console. We're logged in here. And the first thing we're going to do is create an S3 bucket. So we'll go to S3 here. And then we'll come in here and click Create Bucket. Now we're going to give our bucket name just Media Cloud Demo. I am in Southeast Asia, so I'm going to choose Singapore. You should really choose a region that's closest to you, or whoever's going to be working on your site, whoever's closest to them. We're going to click Next. We can skip all of this stuff. Now this one trips people up. You want to uncheck block all public access. This is like a new thing that S3 turned on within the last year. If that's checked on, nobody can access what's on your bucket, which is not what we want to do. So make sure that's unchecked and that all of these are unchecked. And we'll click Next, and then we'll create our bucket. Okay, cool. So our bucket is installed, and let's find it here, right here. Now we need to do a couple other things. We have to turn on, well, you don't have to turn on transfer acceleration, but I recommend it. It speeds it up considerably. So we're going to turn that on, and then we're going to go into permissions here in CORS configuration, because I want to do direct uploads. I want my uploads to skip WordPress and go directly to S3, which is a feature of the Pro plugin. So we're going to come in and we're going to paste in, there's a CORS configuration that I'll link to in the description here. So we're going to paste this in, and that's all we need to do. We need to click Save, and we're good. So that's it. Our bucket is set up. And I'm just going to take a note of the bucket name. And that's it for the bucket. Now we need to create a user that will have access to the bucket. So we'll load up our IAM here. And we're going to go to users, and we're going to add a user. And we'll call this the Media Cloud Demo user. And we want to make sure programmatic access is checked. Next is permissions. We're going to attach existing policies directly and then create policy. So here on our link in the description will be a link to a gist that includes the IAM policy that you want to use. And so I'm just going to copy and paste that here. This is the minimum that Media Cloud needs to function. You're going to want to change your bucket to the name of the bucket that you created in the previous step. So we called it Media Cloud Demo. And then review policy, and then create policy. Oh, we got to give it a name. Media Cloud Demo Policy. So we'll create that policy, and we can close that tab. Now we can come here, click the refresh, and we're going to filter customer managed, and we'll find the one that we just created, which is the Media Cloud demo. And we'll go to next. We can skip this, and we'll click create user. So now we'll have an access key ID and a secret access, and we can just download this CSV because we'll access that later. Let me open it up now. And so this is the CSV that was downloaded. So we'll refer to that in a minute. But in terms of Amazon, at this point, we are finished. We don't need to do anything beyond this. So we'll come back to Media Cloud here. We'll go into our cloud storage settings. We'll use that access key that we just downloaded. The secret. And the bucket, which was Media Cloud demo. You can leave the region to automatic. We had transfer acceleration enabled, so we're going to turn that on here. And the rest of the stuff you can just leave as is, because really what we want to do is make sure that this works before we start getting fancy. And then we'll enable. So if no error popped up, we are golden, but it always is helpful to run a system test after you change some settings. So we'll just run this test really quick. Okay, so the tests have run. We're looking good. Everything's green. At this point, we can come into our media here. So none of this obviously has been uploaded yet, but let's just upload a file to make sure everything is copacetic. There, and you can tell with the cloud icon there that this is on S3. And we can actually see it here. So great. So now what we need to do is get these into the cloud. So to do that, we're going to come here to migrate to cloud. And we're just going to click import uploads. And so this is going through the media library and it's uploading everything that's in there to cloud storage on Amazon. Should be done pretty quick. Okay, so we're done. We can come into the media library here and we can see that everything is now on. Everything is now on Amazon. Great. So we can actually come to the front here as well and inspect this. And you'll see that our URLs are all using Amazon URLs. Great. Let's go back to the dashboard for a second. Now, we did enable cores for direct uploads. For direct uploads to work for images, we can actually turn these on. So for direct uploads to work for images, either ImageX or dynamic images need to be turned on. And the reason for that is because when you do a direct upload, it's going straight to cloud storage. Without direct uploads on, it goes to WordPress. WordPress will then generate a bunch of image sizes based on your theme, however your theme is set up. And then Media Cloud will then upload all of that stuff to S3. But because we're uploading directly to cloud storage, WordPress can't generate those images. So ImageX and dynamic images can generate those images on the fly. For this demo, we'll just turn on dynamic images because it doesn't require an account. It just works in the plugin itself. Oh, for dynamic images, we need the crop tool to be turned on as well. So if we come back to our media library here, give this a second. So dynamic images right now is generating these previews. Dynamic images is good, but it's not as fast as ImageX. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So we're just gonna upload a few files here. And you know that direct uploads are enabled because you'll see uploads happening simultaneously. Without it on, WordPress does it one by one by one. But dynamic images, you can specify the number of simultaneous uploads to allow. So that's it. Everything is looking good. Again, you can come in and tweak your settings for cloud storage. There's plenty of options here. You can control caching on S3, the upload path, deleting from local storage when you do uploads, all kinds of stuff. So I would urge you just to do the simplest thing first, get it working, verify that it's working fine, and then after that, go in and make the settings you want to make. Any questions? Come and ask us on talk.mediacloud.press. And that's it. Good luck.